As much as I love the Creed films, I think we can agree it has been lacking when it comes to the antagonist. It's no patch on the baddies introduced in the Rocky films, which have always consistently given us villains who we hate but also root for. The original movies, which the Creed franchise is spun from, had a number of great villains that are as iconic as our main Philadelphia-based hero. So before we get into the big news for today, let's just go over those great villains who are associated with Rocky. And then, those who were introduced in the Creed franchise. We had Apollo Creed, played by Carl Weathers, who became a mentor and friend to Rocky. And of course, the famous boxer father Adonis Creed, who is now carrying on his late father's legacy. Following on from the great Apollo Creed, we have Clubba Lang, played by Mr. T. The Rocky 3 villain was a ton of fun, with his smart talk. And who doesn't love Mr. T? The A-Team actor was a great addition to the franchise's third entry. Completing the lineup of classic Rocky villains, we had Viktor Drago, played by Dolph Lundgren. The Soviet-Russian villain was the main antagonist of Rocky 4, who murdered Apollo Creed in one of the most memorable moments in the franchise's history, but one that paved the way to giving us the Creed franchise, centered on Apollo's son. Yes, he's a stereotype of America's perception of the Soviets, but this powerhouse of a villain is just memorable, not just for killing Adonis' father in their exhibition match, but for his sheer power. He was a formidable opponent to two boxing champs. Yes, he's one note, with the limited dialogue, lack of emotion, and just a singular focus on completely pulverizing his opponents. But it still makes him a standout character. They have all been wonderful antagonists to match against Rocky Balboa in the mainline films. But in Creed, we have yet to have any challengers that are nearly as interesting to follow. The first movie, directed by Ryan Coogler, gave us Pretty Ricky Colon, played by real-life professional boxer Tony Bellew. And it was great having him go up against Adonis. But did he really leave that much of an impression? Not really. I think if we did a ranking of all the Rocky and Creed villains throughout the series, he'd fall pretty low on the list. I appreciate that the filmmakers went and got a real-life boxer involved in the movie to give it that extra layer of realism. And I know since it was the first film in the franchise, they were mostly focused on giving Michael B. Jordan's Adonis more focus and character development, since it was his story. So the lack of development for the villain was intentional. Next up, they gave us a legacy character in Creed 2 with Viktor Drago's son, Ivan Drago. Florian Mennetu was a beast of a fighter in the film and managed to be an intimidating presence who you believe could break anyone, including the reigning champ, without much effort. Now, I really enjoyed Florian in the role, but he's not an actor, so his performance was mostly a physical one that relied on his father, played by Dolph Lundgren, to make up for the star's lack of acting skills. I think the biggest reason why Rocky had better villains is because they had great actors behind the antagonist who brought a ton of personality and presence to their roles. It's something that the Creed films have severely lacked, which is one of my gripes with what I consider to be one of my favorite franchises in recent years. Enter Creed 3, and they have finally given us someone who will be an equally compelling character as our main lead. They are in talks to cast Jonathan Majors in an unspecified role. He's a great actor to pit against Michael B. Jordan, not just in the ring, but to act opposite of each other. This could be the first time we get a challenger who is not just a formidable opponent, but also someone who has a compelling story that could divide us as an audience and make us care for the villain. Majors is known for his role in The Last Black Man in San Francisco, and also his breakout role in HBO's Lovecraft Country. The star is also set to play Kang the Conqueror in Ant-Man 3. So already, the actor is in high demand. They haven't finalized the deal to get the actor to sign on to the upcoming film, but I really hope they manage to work something out. Majors would be a great addition to the Creed cast, even if the actor doesn't have a boxing background, like some of the previous actors attached to the franchise, He has the physicality to stand toe-to-toe with Jordan. It really is time that the franchise brings in someone who can potentially be a recurring threat to Adonis instead of a one-off villain. Or maybe they become allies and form a bond like Rocky and Apollo. Not much is known about the character that Majors could potentially play, but this has gotten my interest perked up for the film. Already, this was pretty high on my list of upcoming releases, because Michael B. Jordan will be directing. But now with a move to cast Jonathan Majors, that right there has the potential to be a massive draw. So what are your thoughts on this bit of casting news? Also, maybe you disagree with me that the villains in Creed are lackluster, or you don't. Let me know in the comments below. Anyways folks, that's all for now. Thank you for watching and I hope you enjoyed the show. Please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment below. And hey, maybe this was in your cup of tea. And that's okay. Just remember to take care and stay safe.